Welcome to Ministers Talking a weekly program where Rev Brz and Rev Z and their guests chat about current affairs, world events, spiritual principles, and any old they want to talk about. Based on the New Thought philosophy and ancient wisdoms, Ministers Talking shares a visionary perspective of the evolving spiral called spiritual living. Join us each week as we explore the emerging paradigm of life on planet Earth and beyond.
And good morning, dear ones. Reverend Robert here with you on a Friday morning.
Rev Z right here, just holding it down.
And we're a couple of ministers talking shit. And we do this every Friday morning here on the New Thought Media Network, 7 a.m. Mountain Time. Get a chance to get together and just whatever's in the news, whatever's in the world, whatever's in our hearts and in our minds, and take a look at those things and then see if we can come to a spiritual perspective about it all. Now, Z, you got a couple extra hours of sleep than I did today because you're still on the East Coast, and I'm still out here on the Mountain Time. So you've got the advantage on me today, I guess we would say.
That is one way of looking at it, for sure.
And, folks, we want to start today by sending some prayers, sending some love all across the planet to everyone that's being affected by wildfires of any sort. In California, the Dixie Fire took another town yesterday. I'm sorry, I had the name and I've lost it. But there are fires in Greece, all across Asia, South America, Central America. I found this really horrific website that shows you where all the fires are at any given time on the planet, and I didn't like it.
Yeah.
So big prayers, big healing on the planet through what we believe is an effective climate change.
Yeah, and just to put this in perspective, guys, we have wildfires going or just put out, burned tons of acres in Arizona, California, Colorado, Idaho, New Mexico, Oregon, Texas, Utah, and Washington. As of August 1st, over 100,000 acres in Idaho have been burned in the Snake River area, which is a lot of acres. And, eventually these are going to affect farmlands and homes and, so the issue is going to spiral as to what the problem is.
Yeah. And we're seeing effects of last year's fires here in Colorado this year with mudslides and other natural that this isn't. Here's what I don't like about fires. Oh, they're out and we forget about them. The repercussions of wildfires are long lasting. And in California, the electric company, PP&E, they have admitted that some of their lines may be responsible for this and that they've been found at fault for other fires in the past. It's just something we want to look at. We're not here to say there's a solution, but we are here to say that we are in that prayerful consideration that we know a solution exists, is coming, is out there. We just don't know what it is. So we invite you to join us with that. Top story today, however, oh my God. Well, maybe not top story today, but from the really? Oh my, no, not really type of department. Anybody out there know the name Philip Morris International? Now, we spoke about Philip Morris International on this program not long ago, or one of our programs. Recently, they announced that they would stop selling cigarettes in the UK, and I believe it was by 2030. Now, Philip Morris International is not Philip Morris USA. It's a completely different company, completely different board of directors. Philip Morris International does happen to be the international distributor for Marlboro or Philip Morris USA cigarettes. Let's make sure we kind of keep all this clear. But it has a different board. It's got a different everything. And over the past week, they've been in a bidding war with another company called the Carlyle Group for a small UK health and wellness company. So Vectra makes, here it comes. You ready for it, folks? Get ready to hit your, Vectra is a medical supply company that makes inhalant medicine inhalers. So we'll give you emphysema, and then we'll help you cure it too. Z, does it get any more paradoxical than this?
No, it does not. It is interesting that we find ourselves here. And I think, as we were talking a little bit before we went live on the opportunity, if you will, we found ourselves in this cancel culture, which is, I think, is just, we should do a whole show just on this whole cancel culture stuff. It's just, It's really, I don't know what it is, but it's not good from my perspective. But we find a company here that is seeming to do what life does, is transform.
Right.
They are looking to transform, but until that happens, until we see what the outcome is, it is paradoxical, and it is kind of interesting that and let's just trust that it is a true transformation where they've said we've caused harm a lot with cigarettes and secondhand smoke and I won't even go way back and go into whole of that. But the ability for them to do this, if they can do it, is interesting, because the right hand, until they can figure it out, is not aware of what the left hand is doing.
Oh, I'm sure the left hand's watching what's going on. I'm sure the USA branch is like, what? But I love what you're saying here. And folks, you're going to hear this a lot through today's episode, because that's our core principle today, is to come back to that place of trust. Now, there are many people, regulators, speculators, opinionators, saying that this is a really bad move for this company to take, because the company still has the right. The company still reserves the right to refuse Philip Morris's offer and take the offer being offered by the Carlyle Group.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm finally learning how to translate to the UK time zone pretty easily, but I still don't know how to translate money. So, but what I understand, and you might have a better numbers on these, Z, but what I understand is the offer by the Carlyle Group is 155 pence per share. Mm-hmm. The Carlyle Group's offer, Philip Morris International's offer is 166 or 165 pence. What's that? The difference in that in American or in dollars?
Well, I know the offer from Philip Morris is 1.4 billion.
Okay. So,
and I think the other one is slightly less. I mean, we're talking billions of dollars here.
Right. So we're probably talking 1 billion. We'll just take a shot in the dark, make it up. 1 billion versus 1.4 billion. As a company, that 400 million, I'm sure, is going to go a long, long way. There are some that are speculating that the board of Vectra should deny that, should take the smaller offer, because being associated with Philip Morris International will hurt their reputation,
right,
and will hurt their ability to actually influence the market,
right,
and be in the market.
Yeah, and when you look at all of this stuff with the cancel culture, someone did something, when they were 15, they're now 55. They've transformed their whole everything, but because they made a mistake, and it may not even been a mistake. It may have been something that was intentional, but it wasn't deadly. Nobody got killed or anything. It was probably bad, but now we're going to cancel every good thing they've done because of through the transformation of life, they have been
Mm-hmm.
branded as what I don't know, and God, I'm glad. Well, I'm just gonna leave that there.
Well, I kind of have a direct analog to this, I believe, because I smoked cigarettes for a long time. You knew
So did
me when
I.
I smoked cigarettes. You watched me as I quit and went and let go of cigarettes. And what I know more than anything is it absolutely, I had to have the support, the trust, the faith of my friends, knowing that I'm letting up my friends down if I slip back, if I don't follow this course of letting go of tobacco and nicotine in my life.
Yeah.
Now, so I believe we have to be that friend to Philip Morris International right now. We don't have to vilify them and assume, it's easy. Hey, great! Now we can put some nicotine in their asthma inhalers, right? But here's what I believe. I
Is,
believe
isn't
that.
that a isn't that a vape if they do that? I'm
did you
sorry, I couldn't
did you
couldn't
suffer from
resist.
emphysema? Try Philip Morris's new cherry colored flame. Right? Yeah. We have to be the friend that Philip Morris needs to believe in them right now. Because
Yeah.
we can make jokes and we can vilify them and we can believe they can't, but we have to take them at their word and trust that they are. What I saw is their intention is to turn themselves into a health and wellness company.
Right.
Now, here's what I'm also going to say to Philip Morris. It never works when you tell people you're going to quit cigarettes, next year this time. Or on my birthday in 5 years, I'm going to quit cigarettes. So I'm going to tell you right now, Philip Morris International, just go cold turkey. Pull out of the UK. Stop selling your cigarettes in the UK. You can dump them off on the third market if you need to make a little money. We'll let you do that, right? But step in full bore. Dive right on in. Stop selling cigarettes in the UK completely. And I'll give you an extra kick in the bit. We'll give you a little bit extra. Okay, that's a good step. Now, that may help you in this vector. It looks like they're going to get vector no matter what.
Yeah.
So if they do with this is just the first. And I've seen a statement, this is just the first move into this new industry for PMI. That's what they're going to be called, PMI. Let's give them the support to believe that they can. Because the old consciousness, the consciousness that was sitting in the boardrooms in the North South Carolina, that was smoking a pack an hour, and how can we push this chemical on everybody? The truth is they've all died of emphysema by this point or some sort of lung disease. So that consciousness is gone. I know you were doing a little research into the current board at Philip Morris International, so you were starting to look at it this morning as we were talking. I want to trust that there's new energy there too. I want to trust that there's a new influence, a new perspective on life that can perhaps pivot this company into health and wellness completely. I do believe our brother Z has gotten frozen here, so because I know I never bore him that much. He's never that bored listening to me. So, so I'll keep us moving here a little bit. We'll give him a chance to see if he can get that computer updated, whatever it is that's going on his side. We'll bring him back into the stream in just a moment as he gets reset. So, and folks, we would love to hear from you. Our email, you can reach Z and I at ministertalk.org. We're pretty much always available. Look like we got you back now, Z. He moved, but you can reach us at ministertalk.org. We're happy to answer any questions you might have about any of this. And please know that, let us know in the comments. Have you smoked? Did you smoke? Did you quit? Are you still smoking? What do you think? Can this become a health and wellness company?
Yeah, well, and you know, as we go through life, um, I believe we have to allow ourselves and others the opportunity to transform. And we know that experience is the best teacher. And so when we just have to hope with our experience is not deadly, right?
Right.
Um, because at that point we won't get to do another lesson or another experiment. So
Right.
let's hold the cards until we see what happens with Philip Morris
Yeah.
and what happens.
Yep. Speaking of seeing what happens, oh my God. Get ready, folks. I heard the term a couple days ago. The fourth wave is upon us. And here's the harrowing part. It's in our school kids.
Yeah.
Schools have started to go back into session across America this past week, and already the stories are starting to pop up. Georgia, Florida, Nevada. We're going to talk about a few of these today. The Delta variant. I saw a meme. That which does not kill you mutates and tries again. Well, COVID-19 is trying again, folks, and its name is called the Delta variant. And this one doesn't seem to be as, this seems to be a little more aggressive towards youth, children, and school-age children.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I
And
see. Yeah.
yeah, and we have Alabama, Arizona, Mississippi, Florida, Texas, Louisiana, and I'm missing a couple
Georgia,
that have
Florida.
about 15% of the new cases. We just had in in Florida, down in Broward County, and my grandkids are up in St. John County, which is next to Duval County, which is acting quite erratic as well. But they lost 4 teachers in 24 hours in Broward County, an elementary school teacher, assistant, a high school teacher, and I forget exactly what the other teacher was teaching. And we have a governor there that is trying to dock the pay, and they're doing the same thing in Texas, of superintendents who demand or make it mandatory to wear masks in school.
Yeah.
I
This
don't get
is,
it.
yeah, I don't either. That's the tough part, I guess. To me, it's a simple equation. This is just respectful to everybody around me, whether I have it or I don't have it. With I don't because again, we still you can't tell if you do or you don't.
Right.
Um, you and I talked back when we were doing vaccinations. I had a day Wednesday where like my whole day Wednesday felt like I did after I'd had the vaccination. Foggy, unclear, not really sick, but not really feeling good. Right? This thing. So did I just have it? I don't know. But what I do know is it's my responsibility to be true to me, but also to be responsible to everyone else.
Yes.
Free choice is not free choice if it doesn't come with self-responsibility as well.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, because that old adage of "I am my brother and sister's keeper," that's what we're looking at here. and then as we ponder that, we find out in Nevada there's a mother who her and her child test positive for the COVID virus, and she sends the kid to school, and now we got 80 plus individuals, teachers, and God knows who else
Yep.
that may be infected because she willingly sent her kid to school after a positive test.
Yeah. Reno, Nevada, 2 days after both she and her child, middle school child. So again, here we are with a middle school child testing positive. Okay, I get it. It's not convenient to stay home for 2 weeks with your kid, with your middle schooler. It's not convenient to find somebody to quarantine. But the truth is, that adult should have been quarantined as well right. So this shouldn't even be an issue at that point. You tested positive, you stay home.
Stay home.
You get out of the pool and help to get to kill this thing, or at least to start to manage this thing. Right. We were talking before the show. Smallpox, number one, is not fully eradicated in the world, and number two, we never really reached herd immunity. It was under control because of vaccines. And in the past 10 years, a lot of parents have started to question vaccines, stop vaccinating their children, and now we're seeing a resurgence in smallpox.
Yeah.
This seems like pretty basic science to me. Get the shot, wear your mask, wash your hands. You don't have to wear your mask 24 hours a day. You don't have to wear it while you're making love to your partner. You don't have to wear it while you're in the shower. You got to wear it for 10 minutes, 15 minutes when you're in a supermarket. You got to wear it for a few minutes running into a store here and there. If you're going to a concert, well, I think that would be a silly move personally, but wear a mask.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of concert, the Lollapalooza in Chicago, they just came up with, I don't know if they're preliminary or not, but they've identified 209 cases of corona as a result of Lollapalooza in Chicago last week, I think it was. Again, we brand ourselves of, I have freedom, and freedom ain't free. There's some responsibilities and some accountabilities of freedom. And until we are able to get both ends of the stick and pick it up, you can't just pick up one end, the freedom part, and not have the accountability. And when you pick up the stick, you got two ends of that stick that you got to deal with. And that's what we have to do with this, because there is the Lambda version that's coming out right now. And I'm really not liking what I heard on that preliminary. They're saying right now, they may not have, we may have to go back to the drawing board in terms of how we're going to deal with that one, because it's showing some signs that it's less resistant to current efforts.
To current effort, yeah. We talk about responsibility, folks, right? And there is a piece. Yes, we are absolutely 100% responsible for our own lives.
Yes,
and there is no question that we are that our lives are influenced and touched by the lives of so many others. We're talking about concerts. A couple of my favorite bands have gone back out on the road this summer, and as much as I would love to go see them, I see these videos and I look at these pictures of people just packed in on top of each other.
Yeah. And
I know how much fun that can be. Get just a little sweaty, a little funny, you're rubbing up, bumping into all kinds of fun people, and we just can't go there yet.
No.
Personal responsibility also has to have some sort of accountability mechanism.
Yeah. This
woman in Nevada, there needs to be some accountability for sending her child to school, fully knowing that child was communicable. Yeah. There needs to be accountability for concert promoters and venues like Lollapalooza that are rushing into an unsustainable economic model. Because realistically, folks, if we have to shut down again economically, from what I see, the economy is too tender right now to suffer that much of a body blow again. If we don't mask up and start being smart about this, we are going to shut down this winter, next spring. And that's the real danger from my perspective.
And as you sit here and you think about, one of my favorite topics, subjects, if you will, system theory, system dynamics, system thinking. And, when you're looking at simple systems of 2 or 3 things, I can pretty much keep them in check, right? If I have rabbits and then I have coyotes and then I have mountain lions, let's say, as rabbits increase, so do the coyotes and so do the mountain lions because there's food. But as the rabbits dwindle, so do the coyotes dwindle, so do the mountain lions dwindle. And if
Yeah.
you get and I can kind of keep that in check with 3 things. But we have hundreds of things. We have viruses, we have fires, we have the aftermath of fires. When the fires burn, we destroy farmland and food land and housing land. Now, as you mentioned on the fires, we have a whole town. There was one town that had like 1,000 residents whose
Yeah.
houses were in 1,000 house resident was in jeopardy. Now, do the easy math. Let's just say on average there's 4 people in each houses, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have
Yeah.
4,000 people in that homeless thing now. So now the homeless, and so after a while, you cannot keep this in your head. You got to get a supercomputer, right? And to
Yes.
try to run a model, and we don't know how long that model is going to take to give us an answer, and we can't wait that long.
Sounds like
Responsibility and accountability.
Sounds like it'd be easier to just wear a mask and wash my hands.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Our friend Linda Plasters writes in, I would wear a mask even at Red Rocks. And, we live in Colorado, so I'll never miss an opportunity to hail Red Rocks. It is the quintessential. It's the best concert venue on the planet. And I've seen pictures, and I've wanted to go, and I've seen pictures. That place holds just over 10,000 people, not counting employees and artists and staff. So let's say maybe another 1,000. Let's say there's 11,000 people in the building in the unit any given night. Even with the wind blowing, I will tell you from experience, you're not getting away. Even if it were pouring down rain, you're not getting away from what this virus is capable of as far as transmission numbers. So we have to be willing to play the longer game here. Here comes our word again. And trust that we are moving through this, but that we're not done yet. We're moving into a better and better experience. I trust we're not going to lose another 500,000 people in the coming year in America. Yeah. I trust that we are getting our hands around this. I trust that more people are coming over and starting to believe science and at least be willing to consider the science of it all. I do trust that the people that are vilifying our public health experts and leaders are losing their influence and are going to be held accountable. And we're not seeing the evidence of it yet. So we got to go back to prayer. We got to go back to that place of saying, I know there is a higher vision, and I want to affirm that higher vision and not get anchored in the what all that muck and crap and shittiness.
Because there's an Islamic saying that trust in God and tie your camel, trust in spirit and tie your camel. So we're just saying trust in spirit and wear your mask. It's very simple. We know God can do, we know spirit can do many things, but we have to do our part as well. So let's just do that. And let's get beyond this. And so we can get back. And we can't deal with another year of our kids doing school virtually. We will be in such dire straits if that happens. So let's pull together here.
Yep. My kids are going to school starting next week. They've both told me they're going to wear masks. And I both told them that if anybody gives them any shit whatsoever, I will come. They don't, their parents don't want, right? I think today we all have to stand behind the people that are making the choice to keep all of society healthy. Now, this doesn't mean go out and attack the people that aren't. Doesn't mean go bully somebody because they aren't. But let's be the example. Let's put our masks back on. Let's wear them in the supermarkets, in the communities, and let's be that example that says, I'm willing to be accountable for everyone, for society, not just me.
Yeah.
Well,
Man.
see, we're going to get out of here because we're working on being more timely and running over less. So we're under a minute over, which is good. And I think that means we should get this wrapped up. Say thank you to everyone that's out there for being a part of what we're doing here, for your donations, for your contributions, for your volunteer hours, for everything that it takes to make this network run, New Thought Media Network. We thank you. We love you. We appreciate you. On behalf of myself, Rev Z, we're Ministers Talking Shit. We'll be back next Friday, 7 a.m. Mountain Time. Until then, peace and blessings.
Peace.
Oh, I didn't prep. Here we go.
And thanks for listening to this week's episode of Ministers Talking. We'll be back again next week with more commentary on current affairs, world events, and any other our ministers want to talk about. And if you found value here, please share our with your friends. Until next time, peace and blessings.